have to pull up my good reads, because without my good reads, I'm nothing. Hi, welcome to my channel. For this video, I'm doing an October to be read. So with that being said, I feel like I need to elaborate on what I mean by my October to be read. There are a ton of books coming out in October and November, but obviously November they're not out yet, so I can't put it in my October to be read. But there are so many books coming out in October that I do want to read, like Wildfire. I think Caught Up comes out this month, and I'm super excited for that too. I actually just read that series last month. But as far as my October to be read goes, every book that I have on here, which I think I only have like 8.5, I'll get to the half, but I think I've only got like 8.5 that I put on my October to be read that I want to be read, and I'm sure I'll read more. But for October, I wanted to only read books that had any type of spooky element, whether it was witches, ghosts, vampires, any type of paranormal activity, any type of Halloween themed. It did not have to be Halloween themed. I just didn't want it to be specifically fall themed, because when I read my fall books, I only read my fall books in November, because I feel like October is strictly spooky books, and then there's that awkward month in between. Then I start reading my Christmas books. So I have dedicated October to all things supernatural or scary, and then in November is when I will read all my fall books. So with that being said, every book on here is a spooky book or has some kind of supernatural element. So the first book of October is, I've actually already read it. I think today is the 7th, and so this video is going to be posted on the 8th, I believe, is when I'll get it out there. I'm not sure. But, so I've already read one book, and that first book is My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. I really liked this book. When I first read it, actually, the first thing I saw about it was a 5-star review on Goodreads that said, have not read it yet, but will give this 5 stars nonetheless, because people are bleeping horrible. Seriously. You're tanking the reader of a debut author, knowing that publishing takes these things into consideration just because their book is based on a ship you don't like. How bleeping immature can you be? Don't like, don't read. Simple as that, not to mention just scrolling past is free. So I was kind of nervous when I went into the book, because I was like, what is going on? I had not heard anything about this controversy. And after reading the book, I still have no clue what she's talking about. Not a clue what ship everybody's mad about. I've tried looking it up. I can't find anything. I read it and I rated it 5 stars. Now I would say that my rating scale is only based on my pure enjoyment. Like, it is books that I had a great time with, books that I loved, and the last book that I read was Devious Lies by Parker S. Huntington. And I got into Parker S. Huntington when I read My Dark Romeo. She wrote that with, I think it's pronounced L.J. Sheehan, I think, but I could be pronouncing that wrong. But that's how I got into Parker S. Huntington. And then I read some of her solo stuff as well as the other authors, and I just could not get into. I've read Darling Venom and Devious Lies, and I did not like either one of them. They're nothing like My Dark Romeo in my opinion. My Dark Romeo is probably one of my favorite books of all time, but it just wasn't for me. Devious Lies and Darling Venom weren't for me. So like, I don't think that's for me. So I got put in a really, really bad reading slump. But then when I read My Roommate is a Vampire, it immediately got me out. I started that book at like 2 in the morning and finished it the next day. I read it within 24 hours. I gave it 5 stars. With that being said, here's a little bit of a warning. the ending felt so rushed, leading up to the ending so well. It was such a good slow burn, but then all of a sudden, like, it happened and it was resolved like that, and then it was the end of the book. And so I did see where some people mentioned that on Goodreads, as far as like their reviews. Goodreads is what I always trust in my reviews, but I still gave it a 5-star. I was obsessed with this book. I think she's gonna make one of a side character. She was just leading into that, and so I'm really excited for that. And so I'm excited to see what she does. But I still have no idea what they're talking about. As far as like ships go, it was roommates, obviously an age gap because he's a vampire. That's literally all I can think about. Like, I cannot think of what she's, like, what everybody's hating. I loved it. But basically, a little bit about the book is it is about this girl and this guy, Cassie and Frederick. And Cassie is a struggling artist with no place to go. She's about to be kicked out of her apartment, and then she moves in. She sees a Craigslist posting for a really nice apartment, a really nice part of town for only $200 a month. So then Frederick is the one who posted it, and she goes and she starts to live with him. And then obviously about a little bit through the book, she finds out that he's been hiding a secret, and that secret is that he's a vampire, and he has been in a vampire coma for 100 years and is wanting a human roommate so that he can become well adjusted with the modern world. I really think that you should check that one out. That was my first read of October, and I feel like I started off with a hit, so all of them are going to be hits, but I'm super nervous. But with that being said, you should really read that one. It was a 5 out of 5. That is the only book on this list that I have read. So every other book, just know that it has not been read, so I'll be reading it. Even though this is a to be read, you already probably assumed that. But that first one I can give an honest review of. My second book is The X-Hex by Erin Sterling. And that also goes into my third book that I'm going to be reading, which is The Kiss Curse, which is going to be, which is one of those half books, because I honestly don't know if I'll read that, because I want to see how the X-Hex is first. I don't know if I'll like this, but I'm actually doing this as my book club's book of the month. So I've heard great things about it. One of my favorite book talkers, Heather, I'll post her channel up here, but she is one of my favorites, and she was obsessed with this book, so I really think I'll like it. But just to give you a little bit about what the book is about. So basically, the X-Hex is about this girl that is a witch, and when they were younger, it's about Vivi and Reese, and they break up. I'm pretty positive Reese leaves town, and then he comes back, and she had put a curse on him when they were younger and didn't really think anything would come of it, but obviously it did. And so now he's cursed, and he's back in their hometown, and it's just a second chance romance. They basically have to break the breakup curse, and so I'm really excited. I obviously think it's going to be a happy ever after, and I've heard it's a little spicy, which is just what I want right now, because I love spicy books, but I just want a really cute romance. And my roommate is a vampire, gave that to me, and now I want it again. But I'm really excited. So if that goes good, after that I'm going to read The Kiss Curse, but I'm honestly not sure how much I'll like it. So to the third book, which I'm insanely excited about, Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. I am so excited to read this book because I've heard that it is like the Mind Bleep series, but I've never read that. It's by St. Abbey, but everybody says that's so good. It's always recommended to me, but it's just so intimidating, especially the cover with all the apples and the nails. That is so intimidating to me. So I don't know if I'd like that, but everybody says Butcher and Blackbird is just like it, and I don't know what it is about it, but it seems so much more appealing to me. So it's when a chance encounter sparks an unlikely bond between two rival murderers, Sloane and Rowan. The two find something elusive, the friendship of a like-minded pitch-black soul. From a small town West Virginia to upscale California, from downtown Boston to rural Texas, the two hunters collide in an annual game of blood and suffering, one that pits them against the most dangerous monsters in the country. But as their friendship develops into something more, the restless ghosts left in their wake are only a few steps behind, ready to claim more than just their newfound love. Can Rowan and Sloane dig themselves out of a game of graves, or have they finally met their match? Which makes sense because I do not know much about the Mindf series, but I do know that it is, I believe it's an FBI agent. He is the FBI agent, and she is a serial killer. Now, I don't know if, like, why she's a serial killer, but I just know that she is. So that's what the half book it was, because if I like Butcher and Blackbird, I think that I'm gonna try the Mindf series by the end of October. I'm pretty positive on Kindle you can buy books 1 through 5 as one. Book 4. I am so excited for this. I don't think this book has anything supernatural going on with it, but I do think it has to do with the graveyard, so I'm really excited. It's Morbidly Yours by Ivy Fairbanks, and I think it's like Goodreads official. I don't even know what that means, but when I look it up on Goodreads, it has a little Goodreads G stamp, so it's got to be something, right? It's about these two people, Callum, I think that's how you say it, Callum and Lark. And Callum owns a undertaking business, and in order to inherit it, he has to get married by his 35th birthday. But this is not a fake dating trope. Lark just helps him while she's on vacation in Ireland. She just helps him find somebody because she thinks that he can find the one. So it's not a fake dating, and I'm really excited to see how it goes. But honestly, I've heard that it's a cute book. It's rated 4.09 out of 5,518 ratings. So it's got pretty high ratings, and it's on Kindle Unlimited for free. But I just, honestly, that's all I know about it. Couldn't tell you a single other thing about it. But all my favorite book talkers have said that it's so good, and I think it's cute with the whole cemetery vibes for Halloween, for October. So that's really all I have to say about Morbidly Yours. I'm really excited for that one, but I honestly just don't know that much about it. Number 5 is A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Hawley, I think is how you say her name. I have had this book on my to be read forever, it feels like. My boyfriend has tried to get me to read this book forever. I don't know, what's really been throwing me off is that it is a romance, but it's not spicy at all. So I don't like closed door romances, and I think that's what this is going to be. Nonetheless, I've had it on my Goodreads forever. I'm going to read it this month. I will read this book. And honestly, everything that I've heard about it, people say that it's super good. I just don't know if I'll like it because of that. But, I mean, there's only one way to know. She's just a simple witch, doesn't really abuse her powers, just kind of does everyday tasks with them. And she's trying to summon Flower, and she accidentally summons a demon named Ozroth, I believe is how you say that. I believe that's his name. It's supposed to be a really cute, simple, fake dating romance. And I'm just really excited to see this one ever. And I think that if I would just start it, I would love it. But I don't know. Every time that I read a non-spicy book, I know this is terrible, especially because I read so many romance books, but every time I read a non-spicy book, I get put in the worst reading slump I've ever experienced in my life, which is on me. That must be something wrong with me. This is the new number 6 book, and it is called The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. Rated 3.98 out of 111,233 reviews. I mean, that's pretty good. It's not on Kindle Unlimited. It's $9.99, but all my books that I read are on this. I cannot read a physical copy. I own 100 of physical copies of books, but I cannot tell you the last time I read a physical copy of a book. I can't do it. So I will buy it on Kindle and then if I like it enough and the cover's pretty, I will buy it on paperback. But this cover is so pretty, so I was just thinking I'm probably going to buy this on paperback if this is as good as I hope it is. And I think this is going to be so good. So Florence is a girl who can see dead people. It doesn't say his name, but basically I believe that she is just somebody who can see dead people, and he is obviously a dead person, and then they fall in love. That's all I know about it. It has the cutest cover I've ever seen. I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with the idea. I follow this TikTok account, and it's about this girl falling in love with this ghost, and then the ghost doesn't like her, and then she starts dating somebody else, and now the ghost likes her. I don't know if anybody else sees that on TikTok, but I do, and this is given that trope. Go Hex Yourself by Jessica Clare. This is a part of a series too. There's Go Hex Yourself and What the Hex. I think both of them. I think if I like Go Hex Yourself, I'll read What the Hex. But now I'm kind of nervous because when I'm looking at Goodreads, some of my friends are rating this not good, but they're not saying anything. Now I'm nervous. Basically, it's about Reggie and Ben, and Reggie applies for a job, what she thinks is about a card game, a magic card game that she likes, or a fake magic card game that she likes. But then when she gets there, it is with an actual witch. Actually, I think, aren't male witches called warlocks? Or did I make that up? Are male witches called warlocks? A warlock is a male practitioner of witchcraft. She's just an average person, and she applies for this job. She gets it, thinks that it's about a card game, goes there, and it is an actual warlock that is practicing magic. And I believe that it is an enemies to lover, boss trope, boss employee trope, and I'm really excited. I do think that it is a little spicy. It's rated 3.72 stars out of about 10,000 ratings. I don't know why all my friends on Goodreads, they're not my real friends, or I just text them, but all my friends are saying, giving it 1 star. That is only 8 books, and I know that I'll read more than 8 books this month. I'll probably end up hitting around 15. That's my goal for the month. My Goodreads in the caption, so that way everybody can keep up with all the other books that I read. Thank you for watching.